What's up, everybody? Howie Spangler here. Tales from the Green Room, episode number 130. Man, it's been a long time since the last pod, man. It's been too long, honestly. My life has been super busy, super effing busy. Coffee's helping this weekend. So the Ninja Turtles cup is currently in the dishwasher. So I'm using Danielle's Virgo cup. Yeah. So man, a lot of things going on here lately. Halloween was yesterday. Halloween, everybody. You know, October. I used to love September. You know, fall is a good time of year. Around here, where I live in Maryland, the weather is usually perfect. It feels like that Southern California weather. Like, doesn't really rain, and it's like in like the mid to upper 70s, you know, and like even at night it's like in the 60s. It's not super cold. But this year it seems like it came pretty quickly. Like it was a little colder. And I think the older I get, I just turned 40. I told you guys that recently. It's now November 1st. I turned 40 October 10th. So a few weeks here, being 40. The older that I get, I start to realize that I really love October. I mean, I've always loved Halloween, and I've loved this time of year for that reason. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's with the kids, you know, because you want to get them excited about zombies and skeletons and ghosts and ghouls and things like that. But I don't know. It's just fun. It takes me back. I'm never going to grow up. I've come to realize that. I'm a 40-year-old child. But I think a lot of us are. Anyway. Yes, we took the kids out trick-or-treating last night, and, you know, really, I mean, there was definitely like some COVID, I guess, concerns, you know, nothing out of the ordinary, but you do think about it a little bit, you know, and sometimes like when you're like a couple times we would go to a house, you know, everybody's in their groups, you know, we have our group, and then everybody else has their group. And I kind of saw a couple times where, like, you know, our group wasn't finished getting the candy, you know, and then another group would just sort of walk up, you know, and just get up in there. And it's kind of like, you know, we kind of go into this default mode where we're not thinking about this stuff. You know, we kind of go primitive, just like, get the candy, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we just forget about all the COVID stuff. And, yeah, so that I saw that happen a couple times. You know, for the most part, the people that were handing out candy, we saw 5 or 6 of those chutes, the PVC pipe candy chute that people made, which is really cool. Some of them have them really decked out really nicely with lights and spider webs and stuff. So really made it their own. And there were a couple of houses, man, that like just go all out, like with the decorations, and that's really great to see. I feel like on my street, you know, we decorate, and I love how the houses are like lights are becoming a thing. Like lights are like purple and orange, specifically. There's Halloween lights, and I know it's been around for a while now, but it seems to be getting more common, you know, and I love it. And it's like, I feel like everybody that was a kid in the 80s, you know, their parents now, they're in their 40s, late 30s. And we come from an era where it's like, I don't know, the toys and Saturday morning cartoons and Thriller, you know, like we come from all that, so I feel like we want to relive that for our own kids. We want to put that out there. So I just love the era that I'm a part of. Like I was a kid in the '80s, and it's just all that. It just comes flooding back. And same with Christmas too. But Halloween is like just something special. Just I don't know if it's like getting the dressing up, being someone you're not. Probably not so much that. I just love the scary stuff. I love like trying to scare my kids. Showed them Thriller last night for the first time. I realized that they'd never seen Thriller. Say what you want about Michael Jackson. I know, like, dude had some issues. But I mean, Thriller, like revolutionary for its time, I'd say. It was. I just remember I watched it as a kid, and I wanted my kids to see it while they're still young. And my daughter, she was sitting next to me. She didn't want to watch it because I was telling her about it. And she gets scared pretty easily. My son was into it, but I think she liked it, and she was even like singing the song and stuff, which was cool. But the parts where like he's creeping up on this girl and he's got the zombie makeup on, and they just kind of crowd around her. I just love that. The Vincent Price narrating it, so rad. Anyway, so they got to see that for the first time, and that made me happy. Yeah, just big fan of that stuff. Yeah, when we had a great time, man. We went around with some friends, and there's a couple houses that, like I said, they go all out every year, and they just, I don't know, they just do a great job. And it's fun to see. It's awesome to see, And I think what I was starting to say earlier was that like we're one of like maybe 5 houses in my neighborhood that actually decorated and participated. The other thing too is like, I guess maybe the the COVID thing has definitely turned some people off this year, and it's understandable. Just definitely felt like a lot of houses didn't have their lights on and weren't participating. It seems very, very simple. And there were a lot of houses that just had a table, with candy on it. It says "Take one," kind of thing. I had to remind my kids just to take one. My son, he wants to grab it all, but I don't know, man. It's definitely a weird time. We're still trying to uphold our traditions. As Americans, as humans, we're very tribal, and we need to be around each other. And we don't want anything interfering with our way of life. And Halloween was one of those things. And I remember thinking about like if anybody, like nobody is gonna keep us from taking the kids trick or treating. These are all, and the COVID thing is all concerns. We all have it. I wear a mask every time I go to the grocery store or whatever. I comply. I do the thing. But Halloween just kind of felt like leave it up to the communities. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. If you want to do it, you can come up with a creative way to get the kids the candy. And I don't know. I think it went well. I guess we'll find out in 2 weeks, huh? 14 days. If I was right, but I don't know. It just felt kind of like, it's up to you. It's up to the person that wants to give the candy. But I'm glad they didn't cancel Halloween. That would just be, oh man, So, speaking of Halloween, we did the Ballyhoo Halloween stream. Man, it has been crazy couple weeks. I'll get into all this in a little bit, but Halloween stream. We're hanging out with friends. We're drinking. The next night, we're hanging out with friends. We're drinking. Halloween night, we're hanging out with friends. We're drinking. So 3 days in a row now, I've been drinking a lot this week. And if you can't tell by looking at me, those here on the YouTubes, yeah, it's been a good weekend. I felt pretty bad yesterday morning. Not so much today. I I'm just kind of tired today. But yeah, you guys got no shower Howard again. So yeah, we did the Halloween special, and it turned out great. Everybody seemed to really enjoy it. We're posting some clips because we kind of did a thing this time. We wanted to try something different. We wanted to, some bands are doing the pay model, the paywall. I'm not a big fan of the paywall, I will say, and I don't think we're going to do it like this again. It was nice to try, and being that it was like a special and it was something a little bit different. It's not a typical stream. We felt like, yeah, we could probably. I think we're going to have a great product that we ultimately can sell a ticket to. This is brought by our managers. They brought this up, and at first I didn't like it. I don't like the idea of selling the live stream. I feel like it should be free to everyone. But then there's also, you got to remember that like you're a business, and you have to sort of, I don't know. We give out a lot of free content, so we're constantly making stuff and putting out music and making videos and stuff off of free. And we've done plenty of live streams now. I think we've done like 5 streams, and they've all been free on YouTube. But we figured, okay, I kind of jumped on board. I'm like, all right, this could be cool. So we tied it up with the merch. So you get it at the merch store, and everybody that buys anything at the store, whether it's a T-shirt or a $5 koozie, you get a ticket. And the weird thing was we always had to make it clear to make sure you add the ticket to your cart, and then it'll discount itself. The ticket is $6.66. Wonderful price model. So it's $6.66 or free with a merch purchase. And we had to keep telling people, hey, don't forget to add the ticket, otherwise you won't get the thing. And to me, it should have been like an automatic, looking back. And these are things that we're learning. So we'd never done it this way. And it was a good experience to have, to learn. It went pretty much without a hitch. Like once it went live, I know some people couldn't get in. It wasn't quite clear to some people, and they were supposed to get like an email from the store, and that would take them to a link. But I think it was just as easy as like signing into your Shopify account and then just going to our page, and it would be there. And if you hadn't bought anything or purchased a ticket, you wouldn't see the stream. It seems like it's pretty cut and dry, and I don't. I didn't buy the stream myself. I got a free viewing of it, so I don't know exactly the process. I probably should have jumped in there just to kind of do a test. But anyway, we try to make it as seamless as possible, and ultimately, I think it went over really well. People really enjoyed it. But I'm just not. I like having it accessible to everybody. On YouTube, Facebook, whatever. So I'm not sure if we're going to do it that way again, and maybe we'll come up with something else. I like, a lot of people are asking about the live stream shirt. Are we going to do that for Halloween? And we should have. We definitely should have. And I guess we thought maybe we don't want to fatigue anyone. Putting out all this merch. Ultimately, it's like if you want to buy it, you're going to buy it. But we just felt like we had all this new stuff come out recently, and we got some more stuff coming out very soon. I think in the next week or two, we're going to be announcing another merch drop. So, that's the way we did it this time. And I think next time we'll just do the live stream shirt commemorative thing, and do it that way. So I don't know. I'm going to talk to the team and see what we think about all of it. But again, ultimately, I think it went well. I just get a bunch of, I saw people in the stories, tagging us up, and they're watching at home with their family and friends, and everybody's making watch parties, and oh man, just it's just so rad. Like you guys are awesome, man. You guys keep us going. You really do. Oh god, coffee is so good. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And I think it was our best stream yet. I think it looked great. It sounded great. Hartford Sound upgraded their cameras, and we actually used the camera right here that I'm looking at and speaking to is the camera we use for the main shot, that front shot of all the guys. But man, they got these other cameras on the sides, and I can't remember what they're called, but so tight, so good, like so crisp and just big and pro. And you drop that shit on a 24 frames per second timeline when you're editing, just makes it look so sweet, so cinematic. That's what I was going for. Sorry, that was a weird inward burp that you just heard. Yeah. So, all right. So let me get into what's going on with me lately, dude. I've been like stressed, like excited but stressed, busy, always busy. But I'm working on a lot of projects, with other artists. I'm trying to write some new Ballyhoo songs. Trying to figure out a time to get with the band, and I want to go somewhere. I want to go somewhere with the band for like 4 or 5 days, set up in a house in a living room, like an Airbnb or something, and just jam and write. That's what I want to do. We haven't done that in a long time, and I get so sick of being in this dungeon, the Batcave. Like I get kind of like there's no inspiration right now. I got shit everywhere. I gotta clean, man. This is like I want to be a minimalist, and it's just really hard. Oh, I forgot. This is my dad, everybody. I have some of his ashes right here. We put them in the three of us got a Patron bottle. We drank the Patron, obviously, washed it out, and then we had the guy put some of our dad's ashes in this. I don't know why I brought it down here recently. It was upstairs. I don't know. I guess I'm hoping there's some inspiration there. Super weird. I don't know. Is that macabre? Is it? I mean, what do you guys think? Yeah, I guess it's like keeping your grandmother's ashes in an urn above the fireplace or something. It's right here next to my KRKs. Anyway, so that's what I want to do, man. I need some inspiration, and so I'm hoping that'll come together. We'll figure out the scheduling. But so, long story longer, I'm buying the house that I'm in. And some of you caught those videos I did on YouTube about financial freedom, the road to financial freedom. I was financially woke a couple months ago. I went to my buddy's house. It's actually the drummer for Callisto. It's a side project that I have with him, and like Brandon from Uglies does some stuff, and a bunch of guys, just kind of a project thing. And anyway, went up to his crib and hung out with his family. Took my family up, and we had a great time. We were there for 4 or 5 days, and went all around. Like, went up to Maine, checked out. I think it was like York Beach, I want to say. Had some dinner, and it was a good time, and we got to talking. And he's he's been financially woke for a long time, and so he told me about this guy Dave Ramsey. And if you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, he's this multimillionaire guy. Basically came up with a system to get yourself out of debt and never have debt again. Basically he's like cut up all the credit cards, shred the debt, pay off your house. If you got a 30-year loan, pay it off like it's a 15-year loan, like stuff like that. I hope I'm not losing you guys. So like, we talked about that. So I did my first, I I did my first acoustic gig, private party, August 1st. And on the way down, I bought Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover on Audible, finished it, because, yeah, it was like a 7-hour book or something, or a 6.5-hour book. Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty long drive to, it was Chesapeake, Virginia, and back. So, listen to that. And then I listened to, started listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I just started getting pumped and fired up about money and changing my life, changing my family's life. And, basically like realizing like, like buying dumb shit. I've been doing that my whole life. Consumerism, like letting it take a hold of me. And that buyer's remorse, or that feeling you get when you buy something, I don't know, like a PlayStation or something you don't really need, but you got to have it. And you got rent coming up, or there's something else, you got to pay for your daughter's gymnastics class or something, like stuff like that. That feeling you have, like that guilt, I was getting that all the time, for years. And then I started thinking about, I'm going to be 40 soon. I need to buy a house. Like, we're getting married next year. I got to get my, I don't know what my kids are going to do. Like, if they want to go to college, we're going to talk about that eventually. But stuff like that, like, I realized I don't have anything set aside. I don't have any, I got all this shit, but I don't have, money set aside for emergencies or whatever, So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna, I'm paying like hundreds of dollars a month in interest on these credit cards and things. It's just, I'm just over it. I'm done, right? So I'm reading these books. Every time I drive somewhere, I'm listening to a podcast or a finance book or something. I've got a few books. Like, I read now. It's like really weird. I'd never read before. I've read like 3 books my whole life, and all of a sudden now I'm reading books about finance, which I never thought I'd ever do. I left Bank of America. I mean, I still have a credit account there, but like I don't personally bank there anymore. I have accounts with other places, other banks, all these like newer kind of online banks, with no fees and things, and it's just been a better experience. So that's been really fun, kind of getting that, figuring out what accounts I want to use and how I want to use it. So everything's going great. I'm paying down my cards. Like, it's, it was looking like by the end of the year, I'm going to be out of debt, aside from the car, which then I would just finish paying that off, over the next few months after that, all the while stashing money aside every week for the emergency fund. Because Dave Ramsey says, get $1,000 in an emergency fund. And that's very small, but it's a start, and it's a mental thing. It kind of helps you go, oh, I did that, So you start with that, and then you start paying down your cars and things. Basically taking every dollar and putting it towards the debt, paying that off. Stop buying dumb shit. Get a coffee maker. Don't get coffee out. Get a coffee maker, make it at home, and then go out. Stuff like that. So everything's going well. I created a budget. I use YNAB for a budget. And then I was like, okay, now I need to take my business and separate it from my personal in my accounts, right? So I have these other bank accounts that I have just for the business, and then I've got just the, operating expenses, like, bills and, monthly bills, things like that. But then I know I wanted another credit account specifically for the business. So I get approved for this card, and because I've been really good with my bills over the years, where my credit is great, and I'd advise everyone to make minimum payments at least, and schedule them. Make sure you have auto pay set up for everything, and just pay the minimum. Pay more if you can, but if you at least pay the minimum, man, not having late fees and all this bullshit, it helps. It makes your credit score so much better, and your credit score will jump in a matter of months when you start doing that. Just pay on time, but most importantly, trying not to buy things. Like, credit is all about having it now, right? And we're an instant gratification culture where we need to have the things that we want right now. So, I want a PlayStation 5, right? Here's the thing. I rarely play video games, but I want it, I want it. I want to play that Miles Morales, bro. So, like, I know that I don't have the money for that right now. If I look at my budget, I'm like, no, I still got these bills to pay down. There's nothing in the budget for PlayStation. Now, I could take $50 a week or $20 a week and create a PlayStation 5 budget in my YNAB budget. Create a column for that, and then just put some money aside. That's the way it works. Like, you just, instead of going swipe, I want it now, you save up for it and you buy it when you have the money, right? And that way you never go back into debt. Still, to me, Dave Ramsey's all about not using credit cards and things and debt and all that. But I believe that you can have a hybrid situation where you have the credit cards, but you're responsible. If you're shitty with credit cards and you're going to spend, don't get the credit card, right? But if you're someone that knows that you can take advantage of the benefits, like the rewards, the points, the cash back, that's free money. That's free stuff, right? So yeah, I'm totally going to do that. I believe that I am disciplined enough to have a couple credit cards that I use for specific things, and use them for everything, but only spend what I have. So, like, and that's per month. And that way, it doesn't matter if you have an 80% APR, which I'm sure one day we will. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your percentage rate is, where your interest rate is, like, because you're paying it off every month, right? So, man, I'm really going off on a tangent here. So, basically, been doing that, right? So the second that I get approved for this business card, right? The second I get it, that next second, I get a text from my landlord, and she's like, "Hey, we got to sell the house." And I'm like, fuck. So, and I'm thinking, okay, now I have to get approved for a house or something. And I just got approved for this card, which hit my credit score. That's a hard inquiry right there. Immediately. Now I got to get hit again because I'm going to have to get approved for something, even if it's to rent a home. Like, they usually do a credit check, right? They're going to hit your credit. So I'm thinking about the credit score. I'm like, great, now I got to get approved for something, and I've already had a inquiry lately, and it's not going to look good to a lender, and oh my God, we're not going to get the house or whatever. All the bad things start going through my head. So I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, well, we're not ready to move. Like, I am not. I mean, you guys see all this shit here in my house. Like, this is just my basement. We're trying to, like, Danielle's been working really hard to, like, she wants to be a minimalist, man. She's been, like, trying to get rid of stuff, go through the kids' toys. I certainly have a lot of things that I could get rid of, just looking around, but the cost of moving is probably going to be at least half of what I would come up with for a down payment or closing costs, right? And here's the thing. I wasn't ready for any of it. I wasn't ready. I had no money set aside. I had $100 I had $100 set aside for a house. When I got woke, I was like, okay, 2 years from now, I'm going to have a down payment. Here's the first $100, and I created that column in my YNAB budget, and there it was. And I also started a budget for a column for my kids' braces. My daughter might not need them, but my son, I think he's going to need them. Danielle and I both needed it. This is a side note. And so I got like 5 years to come up with this money for braces. So I'm going to start now. So I did that, right? That's another thing. Just save up. And then when it comes time, you won't even feel it, Anyway, back to my story. So this entire, 5 or 6 weeks now, I've just been stressed now. And being self-employed, it's not made. Like, this whole system is not made for people like me, self-employed. People that, like I own a business, but I also do a bunch of freelance stuff, and it's just not built for me. They make you jump through hoops, man. Like right now, I have to prove my income. Doing what I do, I get a lot of what seemingly random payments, like via like Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. I'll get a random check, I'll get a big fat like PayPal payment or something from producing a band or something. What I came to realize was that, like, being in the band, you don't make any money. It's everyone that works for the band, that's where the money is. Okay. So producing, recording, mixing, all that stuff. So yeah, so I'll get some big payments a lot of the time. And now it's like, especially if it's cash, I can't put any cash in my bank account because I'll need to explain where it came from, because it looks like dirty money. It looks like I'm a drug dealer or, whatever. They need to see where it comes from. And it's just stressful. It's very frustrating. I got money sitting aside that I can't deposit. There's bills. I'm trying to pay down the credit cards, things like that, money I could use towards, I got to get new tires, in the car, all this traveling I've been doing. Towards the down payment on the house, things like that. So it's been a real kind of, eye opener, frustrating experience. But, these books on Stoicism, they're really helping, honestly. I think about these guys like Seneca all the time, like the things that they would say, and the sort of general basic philosophy of Stoicism is that, like, you don't have to be a psychopath. You don't have to be, you're not emotionless, but you don't let those feelings like rule you and then make decisions based on those feelings. Emotionally driven decisions. You need to make, like, decide how you want to feel about things, because life's going to happen no matter what, right? So, like, you can decide, like, you can be upset for a second, but then you can gather your thoughts and move forward and just figure out a way around everything. So that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at this as a positive, which it is. I'm about to buy a house. Yes, the thoughts of, like, this may not happen. Like, I may not get this house. Something may go wrong, and they don't believe my income is legit, which sucks. Because again, being self-employed, you got to jump through these hoops and prove it. But I would like to think that they want me to have this house, and I've been paying on time the last 5 years that I live here, no problem. I don't know. I hope they take that into consideration. I had my landlord write a letter about that. So basically, again, it's just a bunch of hoops, and it's going to be a great thing. I'm going to have a house. I'll be a homeowner. But it's just stressful, man. It's just stressful, and on top of everything else, running the business, doing all my stuff on the side, having the family, homeschool, like, all these things are happening. but it's not unique to me. It's not unique. It's not. It happens to other people too. I'm not special. I'm just now going. Many people have dealt with this very thing, and I'm in that group now. So I just have to deal with it, and I think it's going to be fine. I'm 99% sure we're good. There's just that little tiny bit of doubt that hits you, and you're just like, ugh, what if this goes wrong? But I'm supposed to close in a couple weeks. I really hope that still happens. I got to finish getting all this stuff together. I have all this paperwork here from Bank of America, like all my statements. I got to prove all my income and all that. I don't know. So it's been a hectic couple of months, and just when I started getting really into the idea of being debt free and just taking control, this happened. So, again, I wasn't ready for it. I was hoping for like 2 years from now, maybe, but here it is. Now I got to deal with it, and we'll get through it. Yeah, I don't know. It's, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm excited. Yeah, so we're gonna be. We did a drive-in show last month, and that was great. Well, actually, not last month anymore. It's November 1st. But back in September, we did a drive-in show, which was great. I haven't talked to you guys in a long time. So fun. It felt like a real show, kind of. There were like 200 cars, just under 200 cars, so like 600 to 800 people in this field. We had us up on the big screens. It felt like a big, real rock show. And the moment when I was playing "I'll Be Okay" and I asked everyone to put their lights up on their phone, oh, it looks so rad, dude. And that's going to be a thing. I want that to be a thing. It just looks so awesome. Every time we play live, I want that to happen. So shows, I don't know what's going to happen. We're talking about maybe doing something in January. Florida's crazy, and they're open. And I don't know if they're willing to go out. I may be willing to play for them. The band may go down and do some shows. And, we're on stage, and they're doing, I guess, these seated events. So everybody's at a table, which to me is no different than going to a restaurant. That's what we do now at restaurants. Like we go to the restaurant, and you wear your mask in, you sit down, you take your mask off, and you eat, which, it's sort of seems kind of silly, right? But, it's not like the virus is like, oh, time out. They're sitting down, they're eating. Let's let them eat. But yeah, they do these seated events, and so this seems pretty tame, I guess. So maybe we'll go down and do it. I don't know. I saw Cashed Out and Tropodelic are doing shows down there in December. So maybe we'll. I don't know. We're talking about it. As far as getting back to normal, no idea, man. No idea. I keep hearing summer 2022 now, which is super lame. I hope that that's not the case. I hope that they do have some sort of a vaccine, and if they can at least, they're not going to have enough for everybody, but if they can at least get it to the people that are high priority, the ones that are more susceptible, that would make it less dangerous, I guess, in a sense. You're not going to go kill your grandmother. Not, that said, I mean, there's still people in their 30s and 40s that have died from this thing. So there's that. But I don't have the answers. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, but who knows? Who knows what can happen? And we want to be as safe as possible with it. We don't want to put anybody in jeopardy. But if people are willing to do it, ultimately, if we put on a show and you're willing to go, then that's it. You made a contract with yourself, I guess. And we're taking a chance too by going down, you know. And we always, you know, whenever we have this stuff going on, we'll ask our crew guys, hey, are you guys comfortable with doing a show or doing a run of shows? You know, we'll see what they think. If they don't want to do it, they don't have to go. You know, it's pretty. We don't want to put anybody at risk. So there's a lot of thought that goes into this stuff. Unfortunately, this is just where we are right now. We're doing live streams. We're, you know, there's bands and stuff starting podcasts. I think Bally's going to start a podcast. I think it's time we did a band podcast. I asked them the other day, and they're into it. We're just trying to figure out what to name it. If you guys got names for the podcast, let me know for the band podcast. Yeah, I don't know. I like making things. I don't have enough things to do, so now I'm going to do a band podcast on top of my own podcast. And that one's probably going to be more of a shit show, just bullshit. And this one has sort of, Tales from the Green Room has sort of evolved. It's about the music industry and like my experience, but it kind of feels like I'm getting a little more. There's been some more personal episodes, but I definitely feel like that I'm talking, being a little more general with it and sort of, you know, talking about everything going on in my life, you know. So it may, I don't know, it may not be specific to just the music industry, you know. Ultimately, it's what I know best, and I'll be talking about all that stuff, but sometimes you got to have that stream of consciousness and get things off your chest. I think everybody should be doing this. I think everybody should have a podcast. I'm actually feeling better. You know, it's like therapy. I'm just talking it out, you know, to myself, really. And you guys are just listening in. But yeah, I'm actually feeling a little bit better about everything. I got to do this more. I got to get back to this. It's been so long. I'm so sorry I've been gone. The last show I think was Adam Ivy, which was great. You guys got to go back and listen to that one. If you're in a band or doing any sort of creative venture, go listen to that episode, that guy, and then go follow his channel. He's got such great advice on marketing and things. But yeah, I'm setting up some guests actually. I think this week I'll have a new episode with a guest. So I'm trying to get back into it, and yeah. But I thank you guys for being supportive and always listening and all that stuff, man. It means a lot. I started journaling recently. Before I wrap up here, started journaling. It's another form of sort of like therapy, I guess. Actually helps me remember things. Like I don't, I have things to do. You know, I got my phone. Everything lives on my calendar, but sometimes it's nice to actually write it down and sort of explore a little bit. Like I have these, I've numbered the pages, and eventually I'm going to put the table of contents. So if I ever want to come back, I can sort of know what's where. But so for instance, like Final Cut's been a real dickhead lately, for all you video nerds out there. Yeah. So I was just writing like the Final Cut tips, Shift Option B or Shift Command B blades everything, like create a slug with Option W, like stuff like that, like these little things that just help me work faster. And I figured by writing it down, it would help me remember it easier, just things like that. Creating lists, like to-do lists. This is a giant to-do list right here, just even the smallest things, and then you can cross them off or check them off or whatever, and there's that sense of accomplishment, and then I'll date the top and all that. Yeah, man. And the first one, I decided to do this a few weeks ago, and the first one, and I don't do it every day. I'm trying to get at least a couple minutes a day just to write something. But the first day, it was October 7th, and the first line is Eddie Van Halen died yesterday. like, and I just kind of go into that, like how I felt about it. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. So then I had like a word of the day in here. I haven't done it every day, like I said, but you know, gratitude. Word of the day, stoic, you know. I think I did another one. Word of the day, robust. These cool words, you know, finances. I got the finances, you know, just like a breakdown of my income and like percentages and what needs to go where, things like that. So it's kind of cool. I've got song lyrics in here, random thoughts. I don't know. I advise you guys to try it out for yourself. I got this book for like $8 on Amazon. And I think Prime Day was like $5. But even just a composition book, you know, like we used to use in school, something like that. They're only a couple bucks, but check that out. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great. I hope everybody is having a wonderful fall. I know it's like the weirdest time ever. Thanks for tuning into the pod. More stuff to come, working on music. I keep burping. I found out recently I have acid reflux. And I know you guys have paid attention to me for a while, watching the videos and stuff. You see me like doing that, like burping, like right in the middle of a sentence. I've been on this medication called Protonix and for like 3 months now, and it's actually helped a lot. It's just when I eat shitty or I have too much coffee, that's when it really starts to come up. But other than that, it's been great. Like my voice has been better. I'm singing a lot better, you know, stuff like that. So it's been really helpful. So Protonix, check it out for all you people with GERD. Anyway, yeah, well, guys, thanks so much. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. If you're just catching the show, make sure you sub up. Please rate and review the podcast at iTunes. Give the if you're on Spotify or anything like that, give the episodes a share and tell your friends. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can go to talesfromthegreenroom.com and you can pick your tier. Hit the support this podcast button, and I think it's 99 cents, $4.99, and $9.99 a month. You can cancel whenever you like, but it just helps me keep things going. And you know, I'm trying different things, you know, with this. I'm trying to see what looks the best. I've been doing them live, but I feel like the quality suffers, so I'm trying to make this a little better. But yeah, if you're down with what I'm doing and it's giving you some value, you know, think about supporting the podcast on a monthly basis. Check me out on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel, Howi Spangler. Check out the Ballyhoo stuff. And yeah, thank you guys. And don't forget to get out there and vote on Tuesday if you haven't already. I did my vote last week. It felt wonderful. I don't care who you vote for. I think a lot of you guys that follow me closely know how I feel about this stuff, but I don't care who you vote for. Just get out there and vote, man. You know, democracy works best when everyone votes. And you know, to me, if the vote didn't work, you know, if your vote didn't count, they wouldn't try so hard to keep you from voting. You know, they redraw those lines, gerrymandering and all that. I'm not going to get crazy on this, but just go vote. Exercise your right. Use your voice. Now's the time. Whoever your pick is. And I know both picks suck, but is what it is. You know, serve your greater good, whatever that is. So just vote, man. It's important. So, all right, cool. You guys take care. Spay and neuter your pets. Talk to you soon. Tales from the Green Room, episode number 130. All right, late.